Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Dafuq Did I Just Watch? With your host, as always, Kyle McLemore. This week we'll be recapping and reviewing M. Night Shyamalan's latest film. That's right, we're talking Knock at the Cabin. Now, before we get too far along in the review, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It helps the show stay alive, and we appreciate it here at Mom's Garage Studios. And if you haven't seen Knock at the Cabin and would still like to, make sure you pause now and return later, as there may be several spoilers up ahead. That's right, this is your official spoiler alert! Now let's start things off, as we often do, with the synopsis to the film. While vacationing, a young girl and her parents are taken hostage by four armed strangers who demand that they make a choice to avert the apocalypse. Both written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, who is most famously known for The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, and most recently, Old. The cast of Knock at the Cabin consists of about 7 people. Our parents of the family, played by Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge. Not only do they have amazing on-screen chemistry, but then there's a really good balance between the way their personalities are as well. And that brings us to our 4 strangers who come a-knockin'. Nikki, Amuka-Bird, and Quinn make up half of our group of strangers, and although I'm a bit unfamiliar with their work previous to this film, I was extremely impressed with both of their performances. They both do an amazing job of selling you on the fact that they are there to do a terrible job that neither of them wants to do. And next up is stranger number 3, Rupert Grint, who I think we all recognize as Ronald Weasley. That's right, from way back in those Harry Potter days, he's back, only this time he's got himself a southern drawl. He gives a great performance. My only call out is probably that he's not really in the film that much. And that brings us to stranger number 4, Dave Bautista, who you probably recognize most recently as Drax from the Guardians of the Galaxy. Recently, Dave Bautista has been slowly starting to separate himself from the Drax character, and I was very excited to see him in something that gives him a little bit more to flex his acting bone. More so than just like in the Guardians movies, where he's limited to just like screaming and fighting. If there's one thing I've noticed about M. Night Shyamalan over his long career, and that's besides the twist, is that he is a master of the PG-13 rating. Having only ever done one R-rated movie before this, and that would be The Happening, which I understand for all of the on-screen death in that movie, but there was a real feeling in this movie that I did not think it was rated R until I looked it up not too long ago. This entire time, I was under the impression that this was a PG-13 movie because there is almost zero on-screen violence. Like, M. Night Shyamalan is a complete pro at like showing you the violence without really showing you the violence. There's really nothing that happens on screen. It's all like you're about to see it and then like camera turns away, or like you're about to see it and then like we look somewhere else. You're about to see it and then we're just carrying the body with a blanket over it. Like even later in the movie when we're witnessing all the horrific like apocalypse that's going on, it's not much. I mean, like, we see a tidal wave, but we don't really see people dying. We see planes falling, but not really people dying. If I had to guess, this movie has to be rated R because of language, mostly. There's not. I mean, like, there is lots of implied violence, but there's no, like, in-your-face violence. So what does and what doesn't work with Knock at the Cabin? All the acting is, for sure, all the acting is unbelievable in this film. Our parental roles, Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge, really great in the film. They're never doing anything where you're just like, you idiot. Like, they're all acting as, you know, everybody else would, as like the average parent or person would. They're just being like, fuck you, I'm not gonna sacrifice anybody. What do you got, your goddamn mind? And then the exact opposite side of that coin, Bautista and the whole gang are doing a great job of acting as like people who are like, yeah, I have something to tell you, and there's no way you're going to believe it, but, I mean, I have to try. And probably one of the most surprising things about a movie that's both written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan is the overall lack of any kind of twists or turns throughout this entire film. Throughout the whole movie, there's a vibe of just like, oh boy, oh man, just wait till the end, oh, just wait. And then when you get there, it's just like, oh, all right, See, it just has such a vibe, especially towards the end of the film, of just one of those really heavily religious, Christian-funded movies that only ever star Kevin Sorbo. It's only ever Kevin Sorbo, dude. He did Hercules, and then after that, he was I'm doing mainstream Christian movies for the rest of my life. So there really is no twist at the end of the movie. It's just yeah, God's real, and he just killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people, and then made sure that this innocent family sacrificed one of themselves to end the apocalypse. Cool. And it's ooh, so yeah, God exists, and he's a fucking dick. Just wiping out everybody, all these innocent women and children and everybody. There's a part where they're maybe this is how it's been all through time. People have been sacrificing blah de blue, and it's just are you kidding me? I came here for a crazy twist, and the crazy twist is that you're a Jehovah's Witness? What is going on? So let's go ahead and hit Knock at the Cabin with our overall review. So yes, there is really good acting in this film. It is interesting to put yourself in this perspective of the family being fuck you, I'm not sacrificing anybody. And then also being in Bautista's shoes of hey man, I don't want to do this either, but it's either one of you or literally everybody. Come on, man. I'm trying my best. I'm a second. That's the other thing too, is when Bautista's a second grade teacher, it's what? He's yeah, I'm a teacher and I bartend at night. It's okay, maybe make him a bouncer at night, or make him something where he's if you're teaching during the day and then you're bartending at night, when are you getting that pump on, Bautista? Because you're huge, man. When are you getting that pump on, bro? We're going to go ahead and hit Knock at the Cabin with a C-. That's right. Coming in below average on this one. It is mildly intriguing. It is filled with really good performances, but overall, coming in below average. It just left me feeling empty. It left me feeling there's a God-sized hole in my heart right now. No, there's a twist-sized hole. It just felt me really longing for more. It felt I was really hyped for this movie, and I feel a wee bit let down. Although it is really great to see Bautista doing something other than just rah. So that was cool. If you felt differently about Knock at the Cabin, feel free to comment down below, and if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Helps the show stay alive, and we appreciate it. I am your host, as always, Kyle McLemore, and we'll see you next time at the movies.